All right, so everyone, let's get up on our feet. Our first exercise for the warm-up is going to be a side lunge with a punch. So I'm going to start over here on my left. We're going to lunge to the side and act like we're ducking under something, and then hit 2 quick punches. And then the same thing. Lunge to the side, ducking under, 2 quick punches. You can mix out the number of the punches. How deep you're going is totally up to you and your body. Let us get started. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin. Stepping under, punch, punch, back to the other side. At your own pace, your own rhythm, however you want to do it. Just getting those legs warmed up, moving those arms a little bit, getting our bodies moving.
And 3, 2, 1, time.
Great work, everybody. The second one here is going to be knees to elbows. You can do this one standing or sitting down in a chair. Standing, it's going to look like this. We're going to put our hands up by our ears, by our shoulders, wherever you feel comfortable. And we're going to bring our elbow across our body. Same time, we bring our leg up and our knee to our elbow. And let's set them back down. And then doing the opposite. You should feel that in your core, your abs. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin. If you did want to do this one seated, it would be the same motion, just sitting down. Just bringing your legs up off the floor, and bringing opposite elbow to opposite knee.
Seconds. Three, 2, 1, time.
Great work, everyone. Next one is going to be a butt kicker. So what we're going to do is kind of like jogging in place, except every time we're going to bring our heel up the ground towards our butt. I'm going to show you what it looks like really quick. You can go at your own pace, or you can go faster, a little bit of cardio going. If you're not comfortable with that one, we're just going to do a march. Just bringing our knees up high as we can. Whatever you want to do, it is your choice. 30 seconds on the clock, and let's get started. Your heel doesn't have to go all the way to your butt. And if your knees are complaining with this one, you don't feel comfortable, marches. Just getting those legs moving.
And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time.
All right, next one's gonna be arm circles. Have our arms out to our side. We're gonna start off with big circles moving forward. Wide as you can go. 30 seconds and begin. And big circles going backwards.
15 more seconds.
And smaller backward circles. Arms out to the side, tracing circles with your hands.
3, 2, 1, time.
All right. So the first exercise we're going to do is a squat. So we're going to have our feet about shoulder width apart. Our knees are going to stay in line over our toes throughout the movement. We're going to squat, bring our butt down, weight in our heels, and push ourselves back up. Focusing on using that butt and the top of your legs, your quads. If you have weights, you can hold them in front of you in a goblet position. Or you can use a band, but it's a little bit awkward, so we're going to skip that one. So we're going to go straight into the squats. If you have weights, pick them up, get ready to go. 30 seconds on the clock. And begin. Again, weight in the heels. Your torso should be in a straight line. And keep your head neutral. Don't crank it up to look at ceiling. Don't be looking down towards your toes either. Knees in line over your toes. We really don't want those knees caving in.
And 3, 2, 1, time.
They work. All right. Next exercise is going to be a Roman deadlift. So grab our weights or a band. If you're going to use a band, you can hook it around your feet. This action is going to be a hip hinge. That means we're going to be hinging at the hips. So the way you can think about it, there's a nail in the wall behind you. It's like you're reaching back to the butt to grab the nail, and then you're going to squeeze, pull it out of the wall. Get out of feet, shoulder width apart, slight bends to your knees. We're going to have our legs mostly straight. And our torso, our back, and our head is going to be in a line as well. We're going to throw those hips back, reaching down like we're trying to touch our toes, and then pull up. If you have weights, you can hold them in front of you along the front of your legs. You want to keep them close to your legs throughout the whole motion. Going down, tracing down your quads, down your shins so you feel that stretch in your hamstrings, and back up. All right, 30 seconds on the clock. Ready, and begin. You really want to push those hips through, squeezing your butt at the top of that motion. Keeping that torso and head in a nice straight line.
And 3, 2, 1, time.
Awesome job, everyone. Moving on to everyone's favorite, the push-up. This one we can do down on the ground or on an elevated surface. We're going to have our hands about shoulder width apart. Our body is going to be in a nice straight line from our head all the way down to our heels. And we're going to bend at the elbows, going down until we're close to the ground, and pushing back up. You want to keep your elbows close to your body during that movement. If you want to do it on an elevated surface, such as a table or a couch, make sure it's stable and not going to move on you. Do the same thing, hands still shoulder width apart, going down until your chest touches the surface, or you get as close as you can. And then we're going to go and push back up. You can do the same thing against a wall, a door, whatever you have, whatever level you are at today. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready, and begin. You can also do the same thing on the ground, going from our knees. Just take some of the weight off. Allows it to be a little bit easier.
15 more seconds.
Perfect. Keeping that core nice and tight so our back's not arcing.
And
Great work,
3,
everyone.
2, 1, time. Great job.
All right. It gets easier from there, I promise. Cobra rows is going to be our next one. Again, we can use a band or the weights. For the band, you would hook it around your feet. Grab it, sort of like in that RDL position we were in earlier. Slight bend of the knees, throw the hips back, and we're going to row the arms up, bringing our elbows towards the ceiling. Elbow should be a nice straight line from your elbow, your hand down along the band. And if you have the weights, it's going to be the same motion, same position. You just won't have the band hooked around your feet. Slight bend forward, Elbows close to the body throughout the motion. Bringing the weights up till your elbows are about parallel, and then back down. Make sure that you're not arcing forward to back. You want to keep it nice and straight, tight core. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin. Elbows close to the body.
Just 10 more
Neutral
seconds.
Position. Don't look up in front of you. Don't crank it down towards your feet either. Just neutral
3,
graze, slightly a few feet in front of you.
1, time.
Perfect. Time for a little bit more cardio. We're going to pretend that there's 4 dots on the ground in front of us. Square. So we're going to be on one dot. We're going to jump forward to one, to the side, back, and then back to where we started. So just jumping in a square formation. So again, forward, to the side, back, to the other side. At your own pace, you can go fast, it'll be more cardio, or you can just do nice, easy hops. Make sure to land soft, absorbing that impact, and not with straight legs, because that'll put a lot of stress on your joints. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin. Does not have to be a perfect square. It's the jumps that we're after. And if this one is too difficult, then we can just go right back to the marches. Nice, easy, up and down. Great work, everyone.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time.
Awesome job. We're gonna grab our weights again if we have them. We're gonna do a shoulder exercise. So lighter weights are probably better for this one. I'd say probably 10 pounds or under. So it's gonna be a shoulder press. Just gonna bring our arms up, the weights to our shoulders. I'm gonna press them straight up towards the ceiling. You want that weight at the top to be about even with your ears on the side. This one's gonna work out those triceps and some deltoids. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin. Pressing straight up like you're trying to punch through the ceiling. Careful, there's nothing above you. I almost hit the light the other day with this one. Keeping that core tight throughout this 30 seconds here. We don't want you arcing your back forward. Nice, strong core. Pressing those weights up above your head.
In 3, 2, 1, time.
Great work. All right. Last one. I'm going to do abdominal exercise. This one's going to be down on the floor. If you're not comfortable down on the floor with this one, then you can do the same thing we did in the warm-up, which is the knees to elbows. But when you get down on the floor, we're going to do some dead bugs. Got to find some room to do these really quick. On our back, our hands are going to be straight up above our shoulders, pointing towards the ceiling, and we're going to bring our knees up into a 90-90 position. We're going to do opposite leg, opposite arm, and we're going to extend them out. So my right leg is going out, and my left arm is going up above my head. The other two are going to stay right where they are. And then switch all the way out, and then back in. You want to keep your core tight and keep your low back on the ground for that one. That's the most important part for this one. We don't want to hurt our backs. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin. Nice tight core. Keeping that low back on the ground. Again, you can also get up on your feet and do the knees to elbows if you're not comfortable with this one.
15 more seconds, everyone.
Remember to breathe. Always important throughout all these exercises. Don't hold your breath.
In 3, 2, 1, time.
And that's it. 2-minute break, and we'll get started on the second set. Great work, everybody. Our first one we're going to do is a quad stretch. You can do this in 2 ways. Either be standing up. You can use something to stabilize yourself, like a couch. If you have it, we're going to bring our heel towards our butt, just like we did in the Buttkickers. I'm going to grab it, ankle, and pull it further towards our butt. You should feel the stretch on the front of your leg right here. Or we can come onto the ground in a lunge position, tuck our hips forward underneath us, and lean forward, keeping our torso nice and upright, stretching down along the front of the leg. 2 ways, your choice. I'm going to start out on either leg. 30 seconds for this side. Ready, and begin. I prefer this one down on the ground just because I have really tight hip flexors. But standing up option is good as well, and that'll focus more on your quads.
10 more seconds.
Great work, everyone. Remember to breathe while we're stretching.
And time.
And switch to our other leg. Give you a few seconds to get steady here. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready, and begin. As you breathe, you can get slightly deeper into that stretch.
It's also a good time to take a couple deep breaths.
And 3, 2, 1, time.
All right. I'm going to come up to standing for this one. I'm going to stretch out our hamstrings. So just like that RDL we did earlier, slight bend in our knees. We're going to reach down like we're going to touch our toes. If you can touch your toes, that's great. If you can't get there, it's all right. For this first 30 seconds, we're going to have a nice straight back, tight core as we reach down towards our toes so you feel that stretch along the back of your legs. The last 30 seconds of this one, we're going to allow ourselves to relax, just dangle down towards the floor. For 30 seconds, straight back, ready, and begin. I'm going to breathe.
Just 15 more seconds, everyone. And 3, 2, 1, time.
Come up for just 1 second. And then we're going right back down, just letting yourself relax down towards the floor. 30 seconds. Here we go.
Take a couple deep breaths here. You can find some movement. I kind of like to sway a little bit. Don't get too jerky, but I like to sway a little bit. Feels like I get my sides a little bit more loose, if you will. You could clasp each elbow if you want.
In 3, 2, 1, time.
Great work. All right. For the next one, we're going to come to a doorway or wall, whatever you have access to. I'm going to turn my camera here. We're going to stretch out our pecs, front of our chest. Step into the doorway. Going to have our arm in a 90-90 position. So straight out from our shoulder and then straight up towards the ceiling. Pace that right on the doorway. So my right hand, or my right pec is the one I'm stretching. So I'm going to step forward, my right leg, and then turn my right shoulder. Feel the stretch from front of your shoulder all the way down across your chest. 30 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin. For this one, you can also crawl your fingers higher up in the doorway, and that'll actually stretch a different part of your pec. Whatever feels good for you.
In 3, 2, 1, time.
Great work. All right, switching sides. So I'm gonna stretch out my left pec now. So left arm up in the doorway, left foot stepping forward and turning my left shoulder in forward.
Nice job.
30 seconds on the clock. Ready and begin.
This is also a great stretch you can do throughout the day if you're at your computer a lot. We try our best to not slump over, but I mean, I just cave in constantly. So open it up. Open it up.
Remembering to breathe as you relax into that stretch. I'm going to keep saying that because we always forget it when we're stretching or doing planks.
2, 1, time.
I don't have a doorway. I don't have a doorway.
That's
Oh, I'm
okay.
sorry.
You could use a wall. You could use a wall.
I forgot to show you how to do it on the wall.
Yeah.
If you want to do it after this.
You could also clasp your hands behind your back and open your chest up.
So you can clasp your hands behind your back, lift up. That'll stretch across the front of your chest. Or if you only have a wall, you can put your hand back behind you. And then same thing, turn that shoulder forward. And I'll make sure to show that next time. And for our last stretch, we're going to come down to the ground into child's pose.
Ah, the best.
Yeah, we're going to finish off this one. And we'll sit in this one for a minute if we have the time. And come down onto our knees, feet on the ground. We're going to throw our butt back towards our heels. And we're going to stretch out forward, reaching those hands out in front of you as you at the same time sit down, that butt towards the heels.
Yep. So toes together, knees apart. Reach out. This is extended child's pose. If you need a little break on your arms and shoulders, you can just wrap your hands around to your feet. Just a nice gentle stretch on the low back.
We're going for a minute on this one. And if you have something that you can rest your head on, if you can't put your forehead on the ground, you can grab a pillow or a yoga block or something like that. Rest your head on, so not straining that neck.
You could also turn to the side if that's a little easier.
Yeah.
30 more seconds, everyone.
So right now we're just reaching out straight ahead of us. You can also play around with reaching across with your right hands over towards your left side. That'll stretch out your right lat. Or crawling your left hand over your right hand.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time.